Hmm. That is interesting. So it was doing the most today when I was trying to get this live going. That's crazy. That is crazy, man, man, man. What's up? What up, Joe? Man, what is going on, man? Scent of the day, mancera lemon line. Lemon line is something I got to get back in the collection. I had like a 10 milliliter decan of it, and it was one of those fragrances that I really liked a lot. But for some reason, I, it's not even some reason. The reason was this. The reason was aoudlemonmint. That's why I ended up just going with this one instead of lemon lime. But lemon lime's a very good one to have in the collection, and I may need to go ahead and revisit bringing that on into the collection because it's a mancera, and you can't go wrong with the mancera fragrance anyway. So that's what it is. You hear me all right, Joe? By the way, I'm just trying to make sure that my that I actually am being heard through this thing here. All right, good deal, good deal. Because it's been a little while since I went live, man. So I just wanted to go ahead and make sure I can that people can actually hear me and everything. This is just a random one, man. So this is what's going on. I'll wait till a couple more people get in, but this is what's happening. So I've been seeing so many folks go live, man, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I want to go ahead and like do my decant dive, and I need to start scheduling the decant dives. But this has been like a weird couple of weeks as far as like work goes, so I haven't really had a chance to like really chill, right? So, and well, not even chill. Hadn't really had a chance to do anything. Like I put out that video last week, and I still haven't put out the ones for this week, even though they're already recorded. And probably gonna wait till next week to go ahead and drop those videos, man. Let's see, maybe once in a while some crackling from the mic. You know what that probably is? That's probably this. Hold on. That's probably the chain popping. So I don't know. Do you hear any crackling right now? Because that, like I said, it's probably that chain. Because the chain is probably hitting the side of the mic. For some reason, I decided to put the chain out and let it hit that mic a little bit. Still, that's kind of weird. That's weird that I've still got crackling going. Let me try something here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off completely right quick here. All right. That might, let's see. Actually, I might need to come up into here and adjust it a little bit. To be honest, I probably, now that I don't have a chain on it, probably just can go ahead and just clip it to the collar here. Hopefully that'll kind of deter, because these mics is too expensive to have any crackling going on on these mics, man. All right, because worst case scenario, I'll just switch it out for the other one and see. All right, so how about now? Does it give me a good bit of crackling or anything, or does that kind of solve the problem a little bit? Because I know when it's sitting on these collar shirts, it can rub. It's got all kind of BS going on. Worst case scenario, if it's still doing it, then I end up having to swap out, because I have a second one in there too, just in case. Looked like it solved it. Yeah. I kind of figured it was probably the buttons or something like that. But yeah, man. This has been a crazy week. I am glad to actually and excuse the lighting, because I've got, well, you know what? Let me do this. I'll go ahead and amp the lighting up a little bit here. Just a little. There we go. So yeah. Man, it's been a crazy week. So actually a crazy few weeks. So I hadn't really been putting out videos as frequently. Just been, getting stuff together at work and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that'll resume coming up this week because I got some good ones. I already ran up the review for the Mandarino de Sicilia. So that review's already in the can. I am loading the review for Pierce. This is the new one from French Avenue. That's the inspiration. And this one is good. This one is really, really good. I'm not going to get into the full review right now, but if you like the Perseus DNA, if you like that DNA a lot, you're going to love this because this is one of those that is so close to the original that you question whether or not I need to invest in the parfumsdemarly one, man. French Avenue has been like cooking. Like French Avenue has really been cooking recently, man. This is nice. This is really, really good. The only thing is about this one is you gotta like the Perseus DNA. If you don't like the Perseus DNA, you're not gonna really feel this. I'm okay with the Perseus DNA. I feel like the Perseus DNA is a good fall and maybe early spring vibe. I don't like so. One of the things I don't get, and I think I'm gonna do a warm weather fragrance video. One of the things I don't like, people talk about Perseus like it's a warm weather, like a hot weather fragrance. Like, oh, this is a summer banger. Perseus is not a summer banger. Perseus is not made for summer at all. I don't think that Perseus is really made for that type of environment. And it could be just because my summers are humid. The summers where I'm from in Louisiana, summers, here in Atlanta, they're humid. So a fragrance like this that has this distinctly floral mid, it feels, and it's, don't get me wrong, it's got some woodiness and the floral, the geranium, mintiness. Okay, nice, but it still feels overly floral and overly suffocating in the heat, especially in a humid heat. Now, when we're talking about somewhere like, maybe California, where it's not as humid, where there's a drier style of heat, maybe even Vegas or like Arizona or somewhere, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I still wouldn't say that this is a 85, 90 degree type of choice for somebody at all. But I do think that Perseus does have a little bit of a wow factor to it for like the fall. And I think this one fits that bill perfectly. So that one I have in the books, Ex Vetiver, actually, which, spoiler alert, this is one of my favorite pickups this year. This is gonna go. There we go. Juliet Has a Gun, Ex Vetiver. If you like vetiver fragrances, this is a good, and I think I mentioned this to Ross the other day, and Ross was saying that, Ex Vetivers are great. Like a great starter niche vetiver if you want to get into vetivers. It's a great one to do it. And I agree. I definitely agree. It has this appeal to it that, I mean, it's straight vetiver, but you also have a little bit of that citric nature. And, vetivers pair really well with citrus, especially your grounded, earthly, like Java vetivers. It kind of freshens them up a little bit, lifts them up because they're so earthy and grounded. The Haitian vetivers, that grassy vetiver is real nice. The only thing that I have an issue with this bottle is, and it's probably not going to do it because I'm fiddling with it right now. Yep, it's not going to do it right now. But 9 times, well, I can't say 9 times out of 10 now, pretty often the little white liner that's in here, that's in that cap, pops off and it sits on top of the bottle for some strange reason. So, but that's just something real, simple. I had a a decant, like a 5 ml decant of cough. And I've been playing with it a little bit because it's strong enough to where, hey, that's one that you don't have to spray much of. But I went ahead and decided to go ahead and bring in the bottle of cough. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do the review on it, the full review. I'm kind of going back and forth with it. As you can see, there's a lot of fragrances up here that I've brought in that I have not done full reviews on. And some of it is because I don't really full or deem them as like, oh, this is a full review worthy style of fragrance. This one I may do just because of the strength of this thing. It is pretty strong. Like, it is nose blind. Oh, I'm out here, denounced myself, and now people are shying away from me because it's so strong, type of strong. So that one may be next. And then, of course, I'm off Beach Party. I'm going to go ahead and pull a review on this one. I did spend a little bit more time with it. And it didn't make my wife pass out this time, so that's good. And I didn't pass out from it. I learned my lesson. This one is going to be one that is very strong, stronger than people think it is. All right, let's see. You surely know that nothing for me. Know that nothing for me when we talk about Vetiver Beast Mancera, Vetiver Sensual. Of course, I know. I know, man. I got Vetiver Sensual sitting right there. I'm a big fan of Vetiver Sensual. I mean, if you see the bottle, I've shown the bottle on here before. It's the dent is real in there. I do like the vetiver there with the X vetiver. I am getting into those different styles of vetiver, just trying out the different ways that they're presented. Of course, you got your standard, vibrant vetiver delight type of vibe there. And then I do have Vetiveria, that Ormond Jane. I do have that coming. As far as like a 10 mil, I just want to test it out and see if I'm going to like it. I got a feeling I am going to like it. But that's one that I'm really excited about. Really excited about putting my nose on that one to see what it's going to do. So I'm looking forward to actually getting a chance to experience that one. Let's see what we got here. You see, I'm agree cough is, oh yeah, it's fire, man. Cough is fire. It will put you on your ass. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely is fire, man. I have another one that's coming in tomorrow. So I've been on this kind of Torino 21 style of kick. You can see Vuzingi sitting back there. But there's a fragrance from Anish that is called Turin 31. Okay, so I saw that one. I said, let me try it, see what it's about. Said to be about good friends at a new store down there in Miami. So we're gonna see how that one works out. And it's because I'm curious, because Anish has done. They did L'Infinite, which is their version of L'Immensité, and it's one of the better versions of L'Immensité, or inspirations of L'Immensité that I've smelled. Like, it's really good. So I'm excited and still a little bit trepidous about this, the Anish one that's coming in tomorrow, the Turn 31, because as easy of a profile as you would think Torino 21 is, it's really not. So I do want to see what it's going to be about. I definitely want to see what it's going to be about, man. But yeah, I decided to go ahead and do the live tonight, man, because I had been waiting, and I think Grim is on right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think Grim has a live going on. So what was going on was that I was sitting there and I was watching folks go live, and I'm just like, okay, I wanted to go live tonight. I want to go live tonight. I want to go live tonight. And a lot of times, I'll just do these pop-up lives, and it's like every time I would get on, somebody's live. And I was just like, I need to just go ahead and, rock my live, man, and just do it. Because one of the things that I've been encountering, man, is, I may not have time to do the full videos, but I do have, a little bit of time here now, now and then to just jump on a live. and just do like a quick live for about an hour or so to chat with folks and, all that kind of stuff. And I like that because part of the reason I'm in this fragrance community the way I am is because I like the engagement. I like to talk to people about fragrances. I like to be able to, kind of guide folks along their fragrance journey. So, No Zone, what's going on, man? I was just talking. I'm hoping that you caught the part that I was just talking about, where it was like you want to schedule lives, but it's kind of hard because it's like you keep bumping up against other people's lives. So it's kind of like, okay, I just got to unfortunately go guerrilla style and do lives. I know, like I said, I know Grim's got one going on right now. And I check out Grim. I check out his lives. Sometimes I'll go in there and I'll comment on them. I know Kix has a live coming up at 11. That's the other thing. A lot of them, they do these lives on the late night, which if anybody knows my podcast history, that was my slot, man. That 1 a.m. it was like 11:30 p.m. to like 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Eastern. Shoot, man, I would get on there and just do lives where I'm just vibing to music, man, and just talking to folks and, just going over relationship stuff with people and giving relationship advice, things like that. And I may actually, someone recommended that I start doing that again, where I do the lives and start doing like the fragrance stuff, but also when people have, questions about, how do I talk to a girl or how do I do this and how would I do that? Because that was one of the things that I did a lot, man. And then I would do it on the podcast sometimes, but it was a lot of this personal back and forth with folks. And I like to give levity. I like to do like fair and balanced type of vibes, when I give I give that type of advice. And I usually tell people, hey, I'm not the most qualified to give this advice either, but nobody is, to be honest. I don't care how many degrees you got. You say I was out of the fragrance content for a bit. How are you? Man, you say, same here. If I restart my channel, I might just do lives. That's what I love the most, the Fred camaraderie. Yes. And those on, man, what got you out of the fragrance stuff? You know what? Let me take that back, because you could tell me. Well, one of the things that I've been talking to some people about, and I think I'm going to do a video on this coming up here, man. One of the things I've been talking to people about is the oversaturation of like fragrance content due to your algorithm, right? It's not that you want to tune in to every single fragrance review that's out there. It's just that if you watch one or watch two, YouTube will like ram fragrance content down your throat. My wife was telling me, she watches my videos sometimes, and I say sometimes because sometimes she just be like, okay, well, I'm hearing you record them, I ain't gotta watch them again. But she was telling me, I'll come in the room sometimes and I'll show her something, or she'll be watching some fragrance content, and then she just like gets bombarded. She gets so many fragrance recommendations on her TikTok and on her YouTube. It's ridiculous, man. So it's like, and she's not even into it like that. My fragrance timeline is slammed. Like my timeline, my YouTube is consumed completely with fragrance content. And I think as someone who is trying to get into fragrances, right? You get misled into thinking that you have to do things a certain way. Like one of the things that I was talking to a guy about the other day, man, is he was like, man, I got to get my collection right, man. How do you, what do you suggest that I get? And I was like, I suggest you not have a collection. Like if you are looking to have a fragrance for date night and a fragrance for this and a fragrance for that, I get it. But let's be honest, that's not a prerequisite. There are people who are out here that are collectors. Like me, I'm a collector. Joel, I know you are a collector. You're into fragrances, but it's not something that is if you're a young person especially getting into the fragrance game, you get inundated with so many different options that you feel like you have to have a collection. And then you go down this like rabbit hole where you're buying fragrances and buying fragrances just to kind of keep up with the Joneses. And because some YouTuber is telling you that you need this for your collection, quote unquote, when you may just be looking for a fragrance that, hey, a fragrance that I love that's going to get me compliments. For the vast majority of my fragrance journey, my fragrance life, I wore 2 fragrances, and what would happen is I wouldn't have like a bunch of different fragrances at once. I would have like, I went through a Gucci Guilty phase. I went through an Armani Code phase. I went through an Acqua di Gio phase. I went through a Lafayette Street phase. I went through a Silver Mountain Water phase. Right? I didn't have a whole bunch of other fragrances aside from those, but I had those fragrances. Those were the ones I had. And then, I started collecting, a different fragrance here and there. Like it wasn't, I may have, the most I would have for the vast majority of my life, the most fragrances that I would have in my collection or quote unquote collection would be like 2 or 3. I got a hot weather fragrance and a cold weather fragrance. And that's it. Then I got into I might have one that's kind of nice for a date night. That's it. You don't have to have 12 fragrances. It's not a prerequisite. But if you watch fragrance YouTube, you got to have 30 fragrances in your collection. And then you have people that tell you, 30 fragrances, that ain't much. 30 fragrances is a lot of freaking fragrances. And one of the things that I'm working on with my videos, and I just did the tag for it. And I don't know what I'm going to premiere it on my videos, but it's a tag that literally says, it gives kind of a disclaimer about my video, telling you, I'm not encouraging you to buy this. I'm not encouraging you to watch this video and go spend your money. I'm giving you my analysis of this fragrance, my experience with this fragrance. I'm not telling you to go buy it. So pace yourself, bitch. That's basically what it says. It says, so pace yourself, bitch. That was kind of fun recording it. But yeah, that's really what it is. Don't feel like you have to do it. And Ozone, I feel you kind of getting away from the fragrance content a little bit. I don't even know if that's the reason. I just went on a tangent. But I feel you getting away from it for a little bit, because if you get away from it for a while, you realize that you've got some nice fragrances and you want to enjoy the ones that you have, instead of being like, oh, this one's nice, but I got to get this one. Oh, this was nice, but I got to get this one. Oh, this was nice, but I got to get this one. Once you get into that zone, that happens. It happens, man. It can happen quickly too. So, hey, there's a lot of fragrance YouTubers. Okay. So I had a little bit of a tit for tat with another fragrance reviewer about content. Just like a glutton of content coming out, and did for different fragrances and things like that. And the whole thing was, they never really had a chance to like experience the fragrances that they were dealing with. They had a chance to smell them, but they didn't have a chance to really experience them. And there is a thing about experiencing a fragrance. Like, you can smell the fragrance and it's fine. But sometimes, like when I do my reviews, I've normally worn that fragrance that's in the review, at least 3 to 4 times. Normally it's 2 times out in the wild, 1 to 2 times in the office. And depending on the fragrance DNA. Pierce, for example. I've got my video that I've recorded on this one already, but I've worn this now. I've had it for maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I've worn it 4 times. So now I kind of have a real idea of how it wears. What I can tell you what it does at like the 5-hour mark. on a fragrance. I have my phone sitting right there. What I'll usually do is I'm going like each time I wear it, I actually say, okay, so at this point in the fragrance, an hour in, it's doing this. And I'm starting to pick up a little bit. Like I can tell you that at 4 hours into this fragrance, the geranium goes dull because it's a lower quality geranium. So while it really starts to hit from the top and be a lot more like Perseus, it goes dull. And at that point, it starts to kind of fade off the skin. Everything just kind of brightens down a little bit. The brightness turns down a little bit. The longevity isn't as long. At least it doesn't feel as long as what Perseus does. And it's because the Perseus has a brighter vibe to it, at least off skin. But on clothes, you don't really notice that difference very much until you get later in the dry down. See, I know this because I've worn it 4 times. I just have a thing about doing that. But I do want to do that when I do my reviews because I want people to be able to get, the full breakdown. Not everybody does reviews like me. That's why it's good to check out different people's reviews of different fragrances. Because I may miss something that, somebody like BT Scents may pick up on a fragrance, or Kuba or somebody like that, Scent Bubble. You may pick up something that I don't pick up, but kind of research your fragrances. And that's what I do. I research my stuff. So one of the things that I'm putting on my videos going forward is research. Don't let my video be the only video that you watch, even if it's a cheapie, quote unquote. Let me see. I done went on a whole tangent right quick. Let's see. Do you have some new hidden gems? Oh, yeah. Yeah, at some point, there's no end to it. I'm not a collector, but I like to have 10 to 20 frags. And there's nothing wrong with 10 to 20 frags at all, man. What's good still today? Figasm by Savoir Faire. I have never smelled Figasm. Dude, I had somebody tell me about it. I've never smelled it. I need to put my nose on it. I have never smelled Figasm. Let's see. So yeah, brother, right? Just no end. If you buy one, you want the next. Yeah, talking about that fragrance buy today, got a few fragrances I wanted back in stock. It's tempting, but I'll pace myself, bitch. Man, look, so they okay. I saw that too. Because Joe, you usually like the same style of fragrances that I like. So I can tell you one of the fragrances that they popped back in stock today was Gin Tonic. And I was like, damn, am I going to go ahead and get it? Damn, am I going to go ahead and get Gin Tonic? I don't know. So I'm on the fence about Gin Tonic. Eau d'Ambre Leather. Okay, so this is one of the things that's helping me as far as like not buying certain things. I'm thinking about the weather. So if you notice, most of the stuff that I'm dealing with now is like warmer weather fragrances. And the reason why is because I've told myself, I programmed myself in my mind that nothing that is not warm weather is coming in. Okay, so I can't do like Eau d'Ambre Leather. I have the 10 mil decant over there. I love Eau d'Ambre Leather. Eau d'Ambre Leather from Tom Ford is basically wearable baby cat. That's what it is. It's baby cat, but just a little bit more of a designer style to it, a little bit more wearable. I like it a lot. I really do like Eau d'Ambre Leather a lot, man. It is nice. But I can wait. Because I can't wear it right now because it's hot. So later. So that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm just like, okay, can I wear it now? That's my thing. And if I can't wear it now, that's the first strike off the list. The second strike that I'm messing with now is it something that I'm going to review or just wear for personal stuff? Gin Tonic, I'm not wearing for review. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to invest in it because I'm not wearing it for review. Now, there are going to be some fragrances that I'm still going to get. Duan, I'm still getting. So even though I'm probably not going to review Duan, but I'm just trying to find things to click, to strike off the list in certain scenarios so that I don't go on any type of spending, splurge, And then the other thing I'm always said is, how many fragrances do I have left to test? And how am I going to have time to wear certain fragrances? So I'm 1, 2, 3 here. Those are to be tested. Well, I've already done Pierce. Arm Off, I still got 2 more wears for Beach Party. And then Ex Vetiver, I've worn it enough at this point to do a review. So that's not a big deal. Kelly and Jones Mezcal Azul. It's ready. It is ready. I love this fragrance. I do. Watery, boozy. But I still got to put a couple more wears on it. And then I have Anish. Anish is the name of the brand. Turn 31 coming in tomorrow. If Turn 31 is good, bro, I'm going to be so excited because I love the Torino 21 DNA. If it's close enough, and like I said, if it's as good as L'Infinite is that they made and as close to the OG as that one is, I'm good to go. Let me see here. Saying there's a few fall fragrances I want, but I'm able to wait till then. I'm only buying some summer fragrances right now. NBT! Hey, NBT in chat. It's of the day, Valentino Green Extravaganza. Green Extravaganza is... So, NBT, you are going to make me go ahead and get Green Extravaganza. I've been kind of like, okay, I'm going to wait. It's okay. But then you always tell me you're wearing it. And I'm like, ooh, you know what? That DNA is pretty good. I may go ahead and get it. So I think the next Valentino I'm probably going to run and get is Yellow Dream, because I love Yellow Dreams. I've had that bottle twice. This is one of the fragrances that I've bought twice that I really like. Well, I had to buy it the second time because the first bottle broke. So that I guess that still counts, because I was halfway through that bottle and the bottle ended up dropping. Yeah. But I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm going to end up getting it. But Green Extravaganza is nice. You say it's so good. BTL. Oh, by the way, Tracy, I did send you some scent mail. So you should have within the next day or two, if you don't have it yet, because I think I sent it Sunday, maybe Sunday. You got a little scent mail coming. So be looking for it. I sent maybe 3 or 4 decants, and we got to get on a live. We're gonna talk about that later, because I want to get on a live with these, so where you can kind of react to it back and forth. Because I want to see how a woman reacts to certain fragrances up here that I've got that I'm like, I think they're great, but let me see how they react to it. The one that I'm interested in you seeing your reaction on is this one. The Still Life in Rio. Because I believe I sent this one to you. I better have, because now I'm going to be like, damn, did I actually send it? But that's one that I'm really interested in seeing how you react to. There's a few of them, because I know you were interested in, I can't remember all the ones I sent you. Vulcan Few, Vulcan Sable, I want to say Celestia Blue, Blue Caviar, Siren Fragrances, a couple of them that you mentioned on my comments. You said, oh, thank you, you're the best. Super excited. Yeah. Said, count you in? Yeah, definitely. Because you are an awesome reviewer. So definitely want to get you on. Joe, I got to get you on something too, man, because you are the sensei. So I got to get you on the show. I think I am going to start doing that more. I pay $50 a month for StreamYard, and I don't use it very much. Not that I used to it. Not like I used to, at least. Now that's going to change coming up here in the next few months, because Dope Discussions is going to be kind of popping in and out, and should start coming back on here probably. I know Eric and I talked about June, but it may end up being July because I've realized there's so much stuff going on in June right now. So it may be July, but that'll be something. It'll be kind of a shorter form version of the show where we talk about relationships, talk about and really just kind of get into some just nice, educated talk about relationships and different things that are out there, man. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Down 5 is going to be coming back soon too. So I'm excited about both of those. So StreamYard will get used a little bit more too. But I also want to start doing some more collabs with some creators. I know that me and Scent Bubble, Kicks, we got some stuff that we're going to be doing in a little bit too. So man, I'm excited about that. I'm just excited in general about this upcoming couple of months, because now that I'm going to be kind of loosed from the rigors of work here a little bit, I'll be able to put out some more content. So I'm really excited about that. Samaj, what's going on? What's your favorite fragrance note? Ooh, that is a good question because it changes every day. Joel, you understand what I'm saying when I say this. So there are some days when it's apple, some days when it's the tobacco. And if you pair apple and tobacco, we're in the business. One of the things I did learn about myself, though, that most of the fragrances that I am super into have an apple accord in them. Brioni, the Brioni Intense up there, it's got a green apple accord. Bond number 9, Lafayette Street, green apple. Carlisle, green apple. Red Tobacco Intense, green apple. Silver Scent Pure, for some strange reason, I like this fragrance. Green apple. So it's safe to say that I'm really into green apple accords. When I did that fragrance, I made a fragrance for my birthday. That was one of the notes that I put in there, was green apple. So I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan. Although I do like a good tobacco. Vetiver, you can't go wrong with a vetiver. I love a good vetiver note in a fragrance as well. Mints, I love mints in fragrances. But if I had to strike everything else from the record, if I get a good green apple note in a fragrance, I'm usually good to go. He said, yeah, right now it's lime. Yes, it might change. Like Gator said, it's phases. Yeah, it really is. It really is. So what would you rate Paco Rabanne on your list of designer frags? Depends on which one. So, excuse me. Paco Rabanne's got some good stuff, man. If you look at like the Invictus line, I love Invictus. That Invictus right there, hold on, let me go over here. The Invictus Parfum, one of my favorites. I love Invictus Parfum. That stuff is amazing. I like the Invictus Aqua as well. I wasn't this big a fan of the robot, any of the versions of the robot, but they're not bad. The 1 millions are really good. So as a designer, I think that they're pretty, I would say they run that race with YSL as being like, go-to designer frag when you walk into, they're the ones you get the most inundated with when you walk into like a Macy's or whatever, because you have your 1 millions, you have your Invictuses, you have your, those style of fragrances, you have your bad boy line. That's Carolina Herrera. That's Herrera. But yeah, you get a lot of the Paco Rabanne DNA in there. You say Invictus Parfum is underrated. Man, people talking bad about them, but I really liked it when I saw it. Invictus Parfum is just a fresh, soapy type of vibe. It is good. It's easygoing. I wore it yesterday, as a matter of fact, to the office, and people really do like that fragrance. It has a really nice black soap accord as it goes deeper into the dry down that really kind of like pushes off your skin. It actually lasts a lot more longer than a lot of the other Invictus fragrances that I've experienced. That black soap actually just kind of like, as it warms up and as it moves, it just kind of pushes off even more. So it doesn't really dissipate like you would think a fragrance that has that type of fresh accord would dissipate. It actually does dissipate a lot. It's not as sweet as your normal Invictus style fragrances are, or heck, Paco Rabanne in general. But that's the beauty of it. You have the little bit of sweetness at the top, goes into that really soapy accord in there, and it really just kind of gives you like a fresh, you feel fresh when you're wearing it, you know. And then it's got one of the best like blow by sillages, you know, in the world. Because when you pass by somebody, they get that blast of the black soap, just kind of like pushes and wafts off of you. It's gorgeous. Okay, Joe, definitely. You say, if you had to compare Invictus Parfum versus Imagination, which would you choose? Man, that's a good question, because I love Imagination too. I really do. Imagination is if I was to look at a fresh fragrance, it checks all the boxes, right? Because it's got this airiness to it, but at the same time, it's got like, it doesn't have like a uber earthy vibe, but the tea that's in it adds like this slightly mild earthiness to it. And that's what you need in like an uber fresh fragrance, like something that's going to be kind of a mild earthy style of vibe. I think I would go with Imagination. Um, just because I think it's more unique in that sense, and you can't argue with. It's got Invictus Parfum beat on longevity. It's got Invictus Parfum beat on the freshness factor, because while Invictus Parfum is fresh and it is soapy and nice, Imagination has like a depth to it that you just, it's going to be something that's going to be fresh but deep at the same time, man. You can't beat it. So the only thing I don't like about Imagination, of course, is the price tag on it. And that's why you have like your Game of Spades, Full House here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right? And then, you know, you have that, you have your Aqua Dubai. Oh, the other thing about this, right? So as you see, I got Art of Arabia 1, I have Aqua Dubai, and I have Game of Spades, like all lined up right beneath each other. Game of Spades is the best one. Of course, you've got your Art of Arabia nails that tea in the top, but it's not it kind of transitions into a different fragrance as it kind of wears. That being said, yeah, if I go Game of Spades to kind of sub for Imagination, but it's hard to sub Imagination. It gets close. It's the closest of all of them. And that's, you know, counting your Intimation, your Sahib, your Essence de Blancs, your what's the other one that's out there right now that I actually had. I smelled it and I gave it to my brother. But the dual one. But yeah, it's I think it's the best one of the inspirations when it comes to stuff like that. That being said, it's hard to like. I mean, I'd rather have the Real Imagination than any of those, right? And I have the Real Imagination, and I use it very sparingly. I'm so scared. So anything that is from Louis Vuitton is not on this wall. It will never be on this wall. I don't even like to show their stuff in my videos, because I have a friend of mine, he did a video and he kept getting copyright strikes. And he was trying to figure out why he was getting copyright strikes on every video that he had a Louis Vuitton bottle in. And he realized, I have a Louis Vuitton bottle in it. I'm not even taking that chance. Nope, we ain't doing that. You say, is Art of Arabia better than Aqua Dubai? Nope. Art of Arabia is closer to the imagination DNA than Aqua Dubai is, but Aqua Dubai is the better fragrance. Aqua Dubai has it goes along its own path. It has a little bit of an inspiration in the way that it presents in the opening to imagination, but it is definitely not that. And if you spray imagination and that side by side, hell, if you spray Game of Spades and Aqua Dubai side by side, there is a marked difference. Aqua Dubai has no tea, and you can't have imagination without tea. What Aqua Dubai does, though, is it masculines up the scent profile of imagination. So where you're not getting the tea in there, that earthy tea vibe, you are getting a petitgrain in there that's going to give it more of a woodsy style of feel. In there, they do have a melon note in there, and that's paired with the vanilla. So that melon and that vanilla together kind of give kind of a sweet style of vibe, kind of like a tea would do, even though the black tea in imagination is not sweet. And that's the difference between Game of Spades, by the way, and imagination. The Full House and imagination, Full House is sweeter. The tea note that they're using in there has almost like a tinge of a sweetness to it, while the tea in imagination is like a real black tea, comes across as like a natural black tea, doesn't have the actual sweetness that that you would find in like a Game of Spades. So that's why if someone smelled imagination first, they immediately pick it up. But if you've never smelled imagination, or if you've barely smelled imagination, or if you've not worn imagination before, then when you put on any of these other like inspirations, you're going to be like, oh, this is spot on. That's exactly what it is. No, it's not. It's not that. No matter how many times you say it, it's not that. It's a completely different monster. If you've worn imagination, you've had it on, and then you put on an Aqua Dubai, or if you put on a Game of Spades, you put on a intimation, it's a completely different vibe. And a lot of it kind of boils down to the way that the tea presents. The closest to the tea in imagination is Art of Arabia, though. Art of Arabia's tea note is a more earthy, not so sweet version of it. Everybody else gets that tea scenario wrong. Game of Spades gets it wrong. Heck, Aqua Dubai don't even have it. Saïba Tense gets it wrong. Essence de Blanc gets it wrong. All of them have that little sweet tinge in the tea. That Art of Arabia, the only thing they really, really, really nailed was the ginger in the tea. But then after that, it just kind of goes into this lavender, like it amps up the lavender. So it becomes more of a lavender and ginger style of fragrance after that. Hello, all. Have you smelled Tubadrino? I have not smelled Tubadrino. I saw somebody else mention Tubadrino. I'm gonna have to check it out. Scent wise, which one smells the best? Between which ones? Because if we're talking about Aqua Dubai, I love imagination. I'm gonna pick imagination all the time. I pick Game of Spades over Aqua Dubai 9 times out of 10. Okay. But I can't argue with the fact that when I've worn, and I wear these like I said, I've worn these fragrances out a lot. I get like an astounding amount more compliments and out of Aqua Dubai than I do out of imagination. Not more than Game of Spades, not more than the other inspirations. I get more compliments on Aqua Dubai than the actual real imagination. And I think part of the reason why is because it does have a more masculine, kind of a sharper neroli, but that neroli sharpness actually plays into the way that it presents in the air. So you pick it up a little bit more, and it comes across a little bit fresher. It comes across as a little bit more shower clean than the imagination that comes across as like a deep fresh. And I think that's why it has such a big, one of the things if you smell shower clean, women will eat it up if you're a guy, right? Because they love for a man to smell clean. Like you can smell fresh and that's nice, that's nice. But when you smell clean, like when you smell like, oh, I smell like I just jumped out of a soap tub. Women like that a lot. and you know, my more soapy, like clean fragrances are usually the ones that'll give you more compliments. Invictus Parfum, perfect example of that. Soapy, clean, it definitely pulls compliments. That it does do. Very much so. It says good. Collage Blue Spice captures the tea, but is missing some of the other parts. Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm glad you mentioned the Blue Spice. Collage Blue Spice actually does get the tea right. It does. Excuse me. The thing that throws off Collage is the citrus. Like it's got this weird, like, I don't even know. I don't know how to exactly describe it. It comes across almost like a holiday citrus. I don't. That's the best way I can describe it. It's kind of almost like a holiday citrus. It does get the tea right though. That it does do. It does get the tea right because it's not a sweet tea. But it's got like I said, it's got this weird kind of holiday vibe of citrus. At least that's what it puts me in the mind of. Like when I smell Collage Blue Spice, I think more of a holiday style of citrus note, which is strange, very strange, but it is. He said, have you smelled the new Lattafa garum? It's supposed to be their interpretation of Bulgaria Bashemi. I have to get my hands on it. I haven't smelled garum yet. I do have it in my cart though. So that may be one that I actually bring in. I have that in the cart. What's the other one? The Ethery? I know I'm butchering the name on that one. And there's another one that they just dropped that I have in my cart that I'm probably going to bring in because there are some fragrances that may lean unisex, slightly feminine that I am picking up and throwing in the cart, you know, to experience coming up. Because you run into some good ones. One of the fragrances that I like a lot is Angum. I think Angum is Burberry Goddess, if I'm not mistaken. But for some reason, it wears really well. I like it a lot. Quima, Lattafa Quima is, and I like wearing Quima. Quima is actually really good. And I'm talking about because they now have a male version of Quima, but the gold and green bottle Quima. I actually have that bottle. I got it from my wife, and I smelled it, and I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on." And I wore it out somewhere. I can't remember where I went, and like, folks was like, "Oh, that smells really good," and it's probably because the women were like, "Oh, that smells good. I want that too." But it is. I think it's Carolyn Herrera Good Girl. It just is a more masculine leaning version of Good Girl, you know? So I have no problem with doing those. A Theory, that's what it's called. A Theory is on my wish list too. Yep, A Theory. That's the one. But yeah, like I'm really interested in getting those. And then I know Ross was talking about those new Paris corners. There's a couple of them that he mentioned. There's one that I think is a inspiration of Pacific Chill and all those kinds of things. I got a lot of Pacific Chill DNA coming in because I got Afnan Rare Reef coming. So I got a lot of Pacific Chill style fragrances coming. The one I'm interested in is Memories of Summer, because I think that's a symphony inspiration. But just the citrus in that thing, like it's a summer fragrance, it checks that box. And apparently the longevity on it, from what I've been seeing and been reading online, the longevity is stupid. So I'm really interested in getting my hands on that. And it will happen. It will definitely happen. All right, I am about to get out of here, guys. And the only reason make sure y'all hit the like, hit the thumbs up. Guys, if y'all have not hit the thumbs up, make sure that y'all hit that thumbs up button. Help your boy out, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate if y'all do it, man. Also, I'm going to drop a poll this week. I'm going to ask you guys, I got to talk to my folks at a news store. I got, like I said, I have Turin 31 coming in, but they've got some new arrivals that are coming in this week. and I'm going to talk to them and see what they've got coming. And I'm going to put that post up there and see which fragrance you guys would want to see a review on. So I'm going to actually bring that fragrance in. It's going to be part of that Well I Wore It series I'm going to be doing. Because there's a lot of fragrances. I think you just mentioned one that I had not smelled before. The Padrino. Will, you mentioned Padrino. That's perfect for the series. I talked to Nate over there at Paragon, and when we were talking about doing some content together, which we'll probably be doing some content hopefully soon. Because he's got a lot of stuff he had going on, and I had a whole lot of stuff I had going on. But one of the things I brought up to him was this concept of Well I Wore It, where I'm just bringing in fragrances that my subscribers will recommend, and I take that fragrance and I will. There's more to it. There's a whole like contest type vibe to it, but I'm going to take that fragrance. I'm going to actually wear it a few times, do a full review on that particular fragrance, and then there's going to be something that happens after that review where it benefits the person that recommended it and me. So just saying. But I'm going to start doing that more often, where I'm actually getting fragrances that you guys are recommending, and just kind of getting a wearing on them, and seeing how it goes. And like I said, there'll be kind of a little surprise for the people that recommend it at the end. So it's going to be a whole series. Now, saying that, I got to make sure that I, have the time open up, which is coming. It's coming. It's definitely coming. I'm going to be doing some out and abouts too. I already got one video shot, just kind of experiencing things out there and about in the streets, in these fragrance streets. I always talk about the fragrance streets. Y'all get to come in these fragrance streets with me. And talk to some people, man. My wife's gonna be involved with that. Taylor, and you guys have not met Taylor, but yeah, she'll be probably involved in that as well. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's gonna be really, really fun. And I may end up bringing the pets out. Tracy, if you're watching, I'll pre-warn you on any episode that the pets come out. Definitely, I will pre-warn you. I had this whole thing where I was going to be doing a representation of the Vulcan Sable bottle, and I had a brown shirt that I was gonna have snakes around it. But I was like, I didn't want anybody to be completely freaked out. So yeah. He said, everything about Padrino looks appealing except the price. Ooh, okay. So that means I'm gonna have to look and see. This is gonna probably be decant worthy. This might be a decant dive. It say, Mo, why no work? Oh, is Mo in there? Said Gian at work but not busy. Oh, Joel. I think you meant Joel. I was like, Mo. Oh man, I thought you were talking about Mo. I was like, welcome to Mo's. Is Mo in here? Gian, what's going on, man? I just realized that was you. What's going on, Gian? And Tracy's like, please do. Yeah, I'll definitely tell you if they come out. And I was actually going to drop them on a video tomorrow, because I got some editing that I'm going to end up doing tomorrow, and I was going to bring them on live for some stuff, but I may wait. I may wait on that, because it's feeding day tomorrow, so we'll see. He said, I just screamed out loud. I call him Heon. He calls me Mo. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's what it was. Because I was like, wait a minute. I'm confused here. I am really confused. But guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. I'm about to go ahead and make a run. It needs to eat. They say you need a 5 mil or 10 mil travel size on each fragrance on the right side, so you don't have to move the 100 mil vials that much. Yeah, man. Like you see, I kind of already have them labeled and stuff that I do with my little travel sizes next to them. So great minds think alike. I don't have them for all of them, but I have them for a lot of them. So it's a visual thing, right? So when I use a decant, a lot of times I'll just fill it up to the top, or whatever when I bring it along. But what I learned is that I don't like the visual as much because I tried putting all of the bag. Ugh. So as you can see, I've got a whole nother bag of these too down there, right? So I tried putting them all up and had them to match all the fragrances and everything, and it just looked weird. So I just was like, you know what? I'll take them down. If there's some that need to get filled up again, I'll leave them up here. As I fill them, I'll put them back down. But it's not a bad idea, though. It's not a bad idea. I'm about to start coning. It's something that I learned at the fragrance house down the road. Instead of using the test strips, because I use a lot of test strips, what they do is that they actually use the cones. Use like a water, the water cups that you get, like the little cone water cups. They get them and they put them in like a funnel, and then they spray inside the funnel, and then they just put it like face down, so that when it's time to like smell the fragrance, they'll pick it up and you can kind of waft it like that, and you get a better representation of all the notes in that particular fragrance. So it's like, oh, okay, I may try that. It works. Let's see. Said you need okay. I have one for each of my colognes. Yeah, I got one for each of my colognes. I got 3 types: citrus, aromatic, and woody. Yes. Let's say, do you reuse your decants? If so, how do you clean them? So I have one for each fragrance that I have. I normally bring in, when I get a new fragrance, bring in a whole new one. And I got a bunch of them just sitting in there right now. Matter of fact, I just ordered more coming in because I got like 10, 15 more bottles coming in the next like month. But it's gonna be some good stuff. Like I got 2 Gershoffs that I'm super excited about. I've been so excited about Deified and yes. But yeah. So when I have to clean them, I usually put them in alcohol. So you can drop them in an alcohol bath. I have like a little thing where it's like a bowl basically. When I make decants for people, because I will make you a decant if you ask me most of the time. I do charge for them, whatever, but it's cheap, like $4 a decant. Anyway, what I'll usually do is I have the bowl and I put them in there. I let them soak for like a day or two. I take them out, put them in like just a regular like dishwasher bath or everything, dry them out. I have like these spray canisters where I just spray them out, get all the moisture out of them, let them sit, and they're clean, no scent, no odor. I make sure I double check that too. So that's how I usually clean them. Let's see. He said, I keep trying to remove the cap, but it's insanely hard. I gave up multiple times. Hey, brother, just ordered Lacoste EST is the EDT and Coach Green. What's your opinion? So if you're looking at the Eau de Toilette, the Lacoste, the white bottle, is a little bit more floral. It's really good though. It's a great little cheapy fragrance, especially for like the spring. In the summer, it does work, and that's because it does have a little bit of a citrus top to it. I think they use in that one, I think it's the finger lime that they use at the top of that one. And because I think, is it finger lime? It may be Italian lemon. That one may be Italian lemon at the top. Finger lime is in the Lacoste EDP, which is the Eau de Parfum one, which is one of my favorite ones. They use like a finger lime at the top. And it's more of a woodsy, piney style of fragrance. It's an Italian lemon in the EDT of Lacoste. We're talking about the L1212 Blanc, correct? What they call L1212 Pure now. But it's nice. It's nice. It's got that Italian lemon, gives it kind of like this little zesty type of freshness at the top, but the florals will come in that thing. But it's not like an overly floral. It gives you kind of like a nice little like density, but it's nothing that's over the top. It's really nice. It has an amazing sillage. So you're going to like that one. If you like kind of passing by people and having them turn their head and break their neck trying to look at you, you'll like the EDT. You say Givenchy Gentleman Society had an EDT. It did. It did. I am, to be completely honest, I like all of the societies. Let's see. You usually okay. Let me see. Sometimes I don't want them. Yeah, I get that. I'm going back in the chat, by the way, because I use travel pods on mine to mix it up. Travel pods are smaller too. Yeah, I'm going through the thing. I'm just reading. Oh, I keep trying to remove the cap. Yeah, the cap is hard to remove on those sometimes. It really is. Let's see, Givenchy Gentleman Society, and now I Google it and never existed. I saw the EDT like last month, and now I'm confused. So here's why you're seeing that with the society. There's an older version of Gentleman Society, and when I say older, I believe this was years ago. Like society is not necessarily a new concept with them. The newer versions are different, but the old school, I believe it was a yellow bottle. Look up if you Google Givenchy Society old bottle, it will probably pull up. I think it's like a yellowish style of bottle, if I'm not mistaken. That was an EDT, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're thinking that, oh, well, I don't think the EDT ever existed, I think it did, but it was an old school version. So you're not wrong. Now, just society does have different versions. You've got the standard society, you've got the society extreme, which I love, society ombre, which is really, really good too. But yeah, you can't go wrong with society. The newer ones are nice, very, very nice. I prefer extreme over ombre though, which is why I didn't actually do the video for ombre, which I probably will in the fall do the video for society ombre. But for now, that one right there, the extreme with that coffee and that peppermint that boom pops you in the face at the beginning, and then it kind of moves you into like this fresh Starbucks style coffee vibe. I love it, man. It's really good. He said it looked exactly like the EDP, but the box said EDT. It could be. It could be. Givenchy is my favorite woody scent. Yeah, they're good. The Givenchy stuff is good, man. It really is good. But I said I was going to get out of here a little while ago. Guys, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, of course. Man, tune into my partner, Kicks. He should be dropping on here. Should be jumping in. So, if he's not, then, wait around. He's going to be on here soon. But he might be watching the game, because I know that's what a lot of people are doing. As a matter of fact, that's what I was supposed to be doing, actually. But hey, that's, I wanted to talk to my people, man. Wanted to talk to my people. You say, all right, man, I'm new here. You deserve more subs. Man, I appreciate that. What's your must-haves for the summer, Gator? Let me tell you that. All right, must-haves for the summer I already have, right? So this was my must-have. This was my absolutely have to have this or else. This one. This is Olfactive Studio Still Life in Rio. I'm going to do a video on this one, even though it's been out for a couple of years now. It's maybe 2 years, 2-3 years that it's been out. I'm going to do a video on this one because I keep hearing people talk about Afternoon Swim and the simplicity of it and how it's just a great orange bergamot style of scent or whatever. This is cheaper than Afternoon Swim and blows it out of the water. This is a more deep, more complex, more interesting version of that style of DNA with a little bit of a coconut and rum added in here. This is amazing. This is so good you will want to drink it. The problem is, if you do get it on you and you lick it, it actually tastes like bergamot. Don't ask me how I know this. It was an accident. It was an accident, but it actually is. And that's because they're using all natural ingredients on this one. But yeah, it is really, really good. Really, really good. The Mandarino de Sicilia, that was my other, gotta have for the summer. Amazing. This is orange, mandarin orange, citrus, petitgrain done right. This is gorgeous in the air, and it lasts on the skin a long time too. And then the other one is going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. I love Torino 21. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah. 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 So those are the ones that are like the must-haves right now for the summer. Now, there may be more that are added to the list. Memories of Summer. Ross was talking about that one on his live the other day, and on his videos, that Memories of Summer one. The other two that are in that line, the lure line, okay, cool. Memories of Summer, though, it's coming. It's gonna get got. All right, guys, I am out of here. I am actually out of here this time. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe. And remember, as we always say around here, what's the catchphrase? Whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, make sure you make today the best day ever on purpose. Peace out. Oh, before I go, cheers to everybody.